I stuffed the rice balls and a few sides into my mouth before leaving the house with Makoto.
歩いて登校するの久しぶり。
I guess it probably has been a while for you.
あんまり瞬間移動を使いすぎると運動不足になりそうだな。
I hear that a lot of girls worry about their weight a lot.
そっか。
But more importantly, about that "let's go on a date" text from last night.
そうそう、デートしようよ。
You just want to go somewhere and hang out, right?
もっと仲良くなれるといいよね。
Oh, that's right. People could go on dates before they actually got into a relationship, and if they enjoyed it a lot, then they could start to seriously consider the idea. Makoto must have remembered what I said. Okay, then how about after school?
学校でイチャイチャしてたらまずいしね。
What? Even after the big surprise she gave me this morning, Makoto seemed to be a little more sensible today. Perhaps the watch's influence came in ebbs and flows. All of our classmates already think that we are flirting too much. They know how close we are and all anyway.
本当？
It was weird that she hadn't already noticed it by now, but I guess that was just her naivety at play.
そうなんだ。
I'm more surprised you didn't notice that sooner.
いや、だってレイ君が私のことを真剣に異性として見てくれてなさそうだし。
Huh? Then it was my turn to be surprised. What made you think that? Didn't you see how excited I was about watching you get changed on the rooftop?
いやいや、セクハラ発言したり裸を見てはいるけど手は出してこないしさ。さっきもキスしなかったから。
So that's what she meant. Makoto's unpredictable emotions were what made me not want to lay a finger on her to start with, but she'd evidently interpreted that as me not finding her attractive enough. I will never understand women.
もしかしてレイ君って
No, I'm straight as a pole.
本当？本当に？
I'm sure as sure can be.
じゃあキスしてくれる？チュー。
I had a bizarre sort of feeling, almost like when a younger girl in my family had suddenly taken a liking to me. Could I really kiss her? Sure, why not? Just do it. As Makoto's face edged closer to mine, I took a piece out of one of my rice balls and popped it into her mouth instead.
もう。
How did your first kiss taste?
鮭かな。
We munched on what was left of my breakfast all the way to the station. One brief ride on the monorail later, we were within walking distance of school. With the salty fragrance of the sea lingering in the air, we casually walked along the usual path. I could smell lingering traces of seaweed and salmon too, though those must have been the rice balls. Summer break's just around the corner, huh?
レイ君はなんか予定とかある？
Nothing in particular. While I was hoping to find a girlfriend and spend my break being crazy in love, I couldn't really say that out loud.
じゃあ海に行こう。あと遊園地、それと縁日も。
I guess that makes 3 new summer break plans decided for me.
はい、楽しみ。
Makoto clung to my arm. Wow, she's soft. By the way, Makoto, we still have time, so I wanna talk about something. Just promise you won't get mad or run away on me.
何？
About that watch you've been using. It really is a dangerous thing to be toying with. Haven't you noticed you've been acting weird?
最近気分はすっきりしてるんだけどな。
Well, of course you're gonna be in a good mood if you just do whatever the hell you want. I couldn't help but sigh. In modern Japanese society, where people were forced to read every situation carefully to avoid offending anyone, that kind of freedom would make most people envious. I want you to work hard to be a normal girl just like before. Even if you screw up, you can always come and cry on my shoulder.
レイ君の期待には応えたくない。
Makoto yelled at me with the slightest hint of tears forming in her eyes. I rest my case. By the way, you haven't gotten into any more trouble at night, have you?
レイ君に言われて夜の見回りも慈善事業活動もお休みしてますとも。
That's good to hear.
嘘だけど。
Hey!
せっかく手に入れた魔法の力がもったいないでしょ。
Good grief. While it was annoying to know I still hadn't gotten through to her yet, the opportunity was presenting itself, so I decided to have a serious discussion with Makoto. And as soon as I made that decision...
あ、ダメな先輩といい先輩だ。おはようございます。
Hey, it's my ex-girlfriend! Misaki, who was apparently walking to school along the same route, showed up and greeted us. Has your opinion of me really sunk that low?
あんただったら女神様が出てきてもそのまま沈めておくわよ。美咲さん、おはよう。おはようございます、誠先輩。
Misaki's smiling face froze in the middle of her greeting. Makoto and I exchanged glances that both seemed to ask, what's with her? When I saw how close Makoto's face was, I remembered that she was still holding onto my arm. Would you rather we did so at night?
夕方は？そういうことじゃない。
Misaki did her usual furious in-place marching on the ground.
あなたたちはどうして私をからかう時だけ息がぴったりになるの？多分運命に導かれてるんだよ。
After all, you were the one who said it first. Misaki was practically having an aneurysm at our innocuous smiles. You don't freak out when you see Michiru holding onto my arm. It's the same thing.
あれは妹でしょ?
She may be my sister, but do you not think that the way she clings to her own brother in a sexual way is worse than what Makoto is doing right now?
あれ? そうね。なんかミチルの方が不健全な気がしてきたわ。というか、美咲ちゃんはこんな早い時間に珍しいね。ちょっと焦る。いえ、なんでもないです。
More importantly, Makoto, could you let go?
人肌のぬくもりって安心するんだよね。
Makoto said those words absent-mindedly, showing no signs of letting go.
何？まさか本当に付き合ってるんですか？
I've been getting that question a lot lately.
まだだよ。まだ？どういうこと？
I could almost see the question marks floating around Misaki's head.
とにかく今回は美咲ちゃんは残念でしたということで。
Will there even be a next time?
さあ。何言ってるの？残念ってそれ
You know, usually someone who's stuttering in a panic still has the capacity to form a complete sentence. I can't even tell what you're trying to say.
言いたいことはなんとなくわかるけど。
True. She was probably trying to say something like, are you trying to insinuate that I like this freaking guy right here? I was well aware that Misaki had a soft spot for me. Unlike others, her brand of affection was pretty direct and none too easy for her to conceal.
私と先輩のことは関係ないんです。いや、関係はあるのよ。あってほしいの。別に無視してるわけでもないし、無視したいわけでもないから。だからって誤解されても困るというか。やめて。何よその目は。やらしい目で見ないで。恥ずかしいじゃない。
We were only surprised she came out and admitted it though. As usual, Misaki's one-woman self-inflicted comeuppances were hugely entertaining.
とにかく恋人じゃないならそんなおっぱいが当たるようなくっつき方はダメよ。絶対ダメ。それに おっぱいなら私だって負けてないし。いやいや、さすがにおっぱいは私の方が大きい。あと1年あれば私だって90の大台に。
You guys, early morning's all well and good since no one else is around, but when we get to school, can you not just yell about nothing but breasts? As the one guy here, I was the most uncomfortable. Also, given her height, if Misaki really did break 90 cm, wouldn't that be illegal? Well, even if it were illegal, it's not like I'd care.
おっと、そうだね。
Makoto, with what was her left of her reason, finally decided to stop clinging to my arm. Huh. I'd been really close to turning back time to steer clear of this conflict, but Makoto letting go made me feel relieved. Anyway, just let me know if you do break 90cm Misaki.
どういう話のまとめ方をしてるのよ、あんたは。
She shot me a death glare. I'm joking. Come on, you two. Let's get going before people start staring at us.
何よ、先輩風吹かせちゃって。
Even while griping about it, Misaki moved to my other side with visible glee. She really is just like a puppy, the little rascal. Makoto watched us silently. I couldn't read her mind or anything, but I just hoped that she wouldn't do anything too crazy until after school. After all that, it was safe to say that Makoto herself didn't do anything too crazy. And then... What was that? Lunch break. The noise from the bustling hallway was the same as usual, but I found myself sensing something that wasn't.
なんかあったか?
Shuji, sitting beside me, followed my gaze and peered out into the hallway. I couldn't tell what was going on from where I was sitting. Besides, I had better things to do than go and see what it was.
わほーい、何かありましたね。
Dee cheerfully ran out of the classroom. Guess she didn't have anything better to do.
サンスイ、ジュース買いに行かないか?
Are you coming with me?
いや、行くなら俺の分を買ってきてくれ。
Get your own. Glancing around, I noticed Makoto wasn't in the classroom either. Well, whatever. Opening my lunchbox, I put my hands together in the usual pre-meal time to eat ritual and then began to dig in. Nom nom nom. As I ate, I heard mumblings from the hallway from other students, something to do with broken glass. Evidently, someone had broken a window somewhere. The news seemed to be spreading like wildfire, with everyone texting everyone else about it. I see. I found it interesting to listen in on their conversations, but it wasn't anything worth getting too worried about. I just hoped that no one was hurt. Come to think of it, those thoughts were kinda similar to the ones I had back when Makoto dropped her lunchbox. Talk about a throwback. It was at that moment that Dee returned to the classroom. Dee,
はい。
where's the window that was broken?
自動販売機の近くの廊下のですね。
Was it somebody's stray baseball or something that broke it?
いえ、椅子だそうです。
Huh? A chair? I could hardly believe it, but Dee nodded in affirmation.
はい。椅子で叩いて割ったのだそうです。
That's unexpected.
事故じゃないのか?
Shuji spoke up as well, evidently just as surprised as me.
それが美咲さんがやったみたいで。
What? Huh? I was dumbfounded after hearing that. Misaki smashing a window with a chair?
私も実際に目にしたのではなく、ヤジウマさんのトークを聞いただけなのですが。
Misaki's the last person I could imagine doing something like that, though. I put down my chopsticks and took out my phone to call Michiru. After all, she was Misaki's classmate.
はい、沢渡みちるです。
Michiru, it's me.
ああ、兄様。ガラスの件でしたら、犯人は美咲さんではありませんよ。
Man, you're sharp as ever.
というより、こちらのクラスが渦中なもので。
Really now? Maybe the first year classrooms were a lot more raucous than ours by nature.
美咲さんは4時間目が終わってから今までずっと私はみゆさんと一緒に教室にいました。
So it must be a misunderstanding then. Dee and Shuji, who were listening in, seemed visibly relieved to hear that. But Michiru's voice was of utmost seriousness.
そのはずなのですが、ガラスを割ったのが美咲さんだというのも多くの方が目にしている事実なのです。
Maybe she's mastered the clone jutsu. I tried to crack a joke, but it was met with a deadly silence. A chill ran up my spine. I glanced around the classroom again. Makoto wasn't there. Then I gazed up at the clock hanging above the blackboard. Damn it, it had already been more than 5 minutes by now.
兄様、どうしました？
さんずい？
In spite of being called for by other people, both in person and over the phone, I was in some kind of trance.
ご主人様、大丈夫ですか？
Didi leaned in to look at my face. But I could neither make the words come out of my mouth nor muster any strength to move. I only knew one thing: Makoto had just caused the kind of problem that could never be undone. After school. Ultimately, Makoto never returned to class once lunch was over. Everyone clued into her absence during 5th period, and then, during final homeroom, the teacher informed us all that she'd gone home early owing to sickness.
ご主人様。
Didi came over to me right after homeroom ended. What is it?
美咲さんとトークしに行くんですけど、ご主人様も一緒に行きますか？お嬢様やミュウさんも一緒ですが。
Sorry, I have something else I need to take care of.
それは残念です。
Didi left, not bothering to grill me further about why I had to turn her offer down. I'd wanted to go and console Misaki with the knowledge that someone had been impersonating her, but her alibi was solid, so she would probably be fine. More importantly, I needed to find Makoto. I headed toward the school gate. I'd already texted and called Makoto's phone several times with no response. I also called her family, pretending that I was calling on behalf of the school, but they told me she wasn't there. So that just leaves somewhere out of doors then. With no lead to go on, I had to search the entire city from end to end. First, I stopped by Central Park, but she wasn't there. Then I headed north toward the shopping district, glancing inside the restaurants and cafes where she could probably lay low for a while, but still found no trace of her. Then westward bound, walking around the town counterclockwise. Returning south to double-check the school and the beach nearby, Makoto was still nowhere to be found. Good grief! With nowhere else to go, I idly paced around the monorail station, which lay closest to her house. The only option left was to wait for her at the station in case she took the monorail home. After all, actually waiting in front of her house would be a death wish. If she walked home, or ended up just teleporting from somewhere, then I've been running around for nothing. The monorail stopped at its usual fixed intervals like clockwork, and I observed every last person who got off each time. Aside from the sun sinking in the horizon, nothing changed with each new train that stopped and departed. Watching the same scene play out ad infinitum like this felt like I was experiencing a perpetual déjà vu. I feel one step closer to Nirvana right now.
お主の煩悩がこの程度で払われるわけなかろう。
Crow suddenly appeared, exiting one of the monorail cars that pulled into the station. Oh, were you on that train?
何度も見かける妙な人間がいるなと思えば、一体何をしておるのだ？
Oh, I'm looking for Makoto.
それならすれ違ったな。あの女子、なぜかずっとモノレールに乗っておったぞ。
Huh? My eyes went wide at Crow's words as the realization hit me. That's right, inside of the monorail car was my blind spot. Since it ran on a loop all day, the car had air conditioning and she wouldn't stand out amongst the throngs of people getting on and off at each station. She could lay low in there all day if she wanted to. If I haven't seen her, does that mean she's still riding the train?
いや、少し前に別の駅で降りた。
She got off? So she still isn't going home.
行き先はおそらく中央公園だ。
Then I really must have just missed her.
お主と誠はどうも縁がないのかもしれんぞ。
Nah, I'd say the opposite. I laughed at Crow's evaluation of the situation. I wouldn't have been able to find Makoto at all if I hadn't run into you. I'm sure things will work out between us somehow.
前向きだな。
And besides, the way things are right now, I have to confront her directly. It was perfect timing for me to run into Crow here. Just like it was fated to happen. Crow, if you don't mind, I could use a little help from you.
何をするつもりだ?
In response to Crow's question, I pulled something out of my pocket. It was a coin. Just a spot of gambling.